tends to worry me a little bit. Monster forehand is a bit concerning, as well as a backhand that he can crush both directions. And the fact that he moves well is a bit unsettling.
Guys, just to follow up, throughout this championship, Marat Safin has served 90 aces, which leads all players. That's one thing that Andre Agassi said he was concerned about, as well as 54 forehand winners. I think indoors tonight is probably an advantage for Marat Safin. He doesn't want to play this match in the heat of the evening when it's humid out.
Other than this serve and all the ground strokes, really not much to be concerned about, though, with this guy. Safin beating 4 Americans, Brian Vahaley, Todd Martin, James Blake, and Roddick, to get here. But again, not been able to win one of those matches in straight sets. After he mentioned more than 15 hours on court.
14 off.
That's the most efficient way to win a point. Safin holds it low. Tail of the tape time.
You know who has the edge in this one? The ground strokes. Agassi's consistency is better. Safin's got the edge in the volley department, which has looked pretty good here. The serve is a bigger weapon. The return, Agassi, although that could be even if Safin's agility is there and he's on time. And if Agassi misses a lot of first serves, I mean, the movement, slight edge to Agassi as well as the intangibles, but it's just his record here. See, that's where Safin can really bother Agassi if he can attack the second serve and make Agassi move quickly to the side. That's when Andre feels unsettled in a match.
And again, Darren Cahill, Andre Agassi's coach, an Aussie. Struggling with that first serve. He's a part of Team Agassi, very important part. He's much more than Andre's trainer, and a chance to visit with Gil this week, a real pleasure. Wise man. See how eager Safin is on the returns.
That's exactly what he wants to do, though, is take his cuts. Agassi's already a little bit out of his rhythm. I mean, it's early, yes, but Andre's not playing the kind of points he wants to play so far.
That's more of an Agassi point. He holds for 2-1. Just underway here in Melbourne, the first men's semifinal. Marat Safin to serve. 1-2 first set against Andre Agassi. Much anticipated semifinal here inside Rod Laver Arena with the roof closed from the rain falling outside. Safin an easy hold. First service game. Missed it. going back to the Roddick match, and he was not able to break him in the last 4 sets of that match. Serves like that a big reason. Roddick had his chances. A few of them couldn't cash him in. Porsche radar gun says that's 127.
Safin doesn't give up too much court. That's his mom, his coach in the front, and his girlfriend watching along.
Mom's the boss of that group, I think, right there.
Arauza is her name.
His first coach.
Coach of his kid sister, Donata, who's coming into her own on the WTA tour. Coach of Anastasia Miskina, quarterfinalist here. Here's another nice looking serve from Safin, his third.
It's called wide. Safin holds for 2-all. Neither player has lost a point when they've gotten their first serve in. Earlier this afternoon, Justine Arden ended the Cinderella dream of Zuluaga in straight sets, and Kim Clijsters, showing no real effects of that ankle that had been talked about so much, set up another all-Belgian women's final here. Agassi responds with his second ace.
Saying that because Marat Safin doesn't like giving up too much of the baseline, Agassi can't hit him off the court the way he's been able to do to all of his other opponents so far. So Agassi is going to have to be very alert, very quick. He's going to be getting the ball back in a hurry. And he'll have to be ready for that, especially on these second serves. He's given Safin way too many looks. He's only at 46% going into in this third service game.
I wonder if Agassi will try to take something off his first serve, because I think if he continues this strategy, he's going to pay the price. Safin will just continue to pound on those second serves.
You guys always talk about Andre being so effective at imposing his game plan on the opponent. Does he actually, against this guy, have to change it, modify it?
He may. I mean, if Safin is on, yeah, I think he may have to, yes. But that's one of the strengths of Agassi, is that he's always prepared. He's meticulous in the way he sets matches up in his mind before he goes out there.
Oh. Wow.
So that's what Safin can do. Here's Agassi trying to set up a long, laborious point, and Safin can break it open with the winner. Never did we see this more than when Safin took out Pete Sampras in the U.S. Open final a couple of years ago. I mean, doing that against Sampras, shot after shot, set after set.
Don't you think the big backhand is one of the things that separated him from Roddick the other night? Much more effective backhand than Roddick.
Oh,
is.
yeah. Oh, his is a tremendous shot.
His is better. I think his backhand's better than his forehand,
Yeah.
Safin. And you see Agassi starting to direct a few more of those first serves to the Safin forehand. And it won him a cheap point there at 30-all.
Unbelievable shot for a winner.
Great point period as Agassi holds for 3-2. Now some nice drama building in the first set on serve. Agassi leads 3-2. As our friend Mr. Drysdale say, college basketball. Throwdown Thursday. Maryland Terrapins against 17th ranked Wake Forest Demon Deacons at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Then J.J. Redick and number 1 ranked Duke against Florida State at 9 Eastern. Throwdown Thursday presented by Mass Mutual on ESPN2.
Duke number 1. What about my Stanford Cardinal? Right.
They're not bad. I like it. There's Mrs. Agassi. Steffi Graf. Her titles down here equal her husband's. He will never catch her an all-time Grand Slam.
I don't think so.
Australian Open men's semifinal. Marat Safin to serve. Agassi leads 3-2 first set.
15.
Ace number 4. You guys have talked about Agassi being the best starter maybe in history, certainly in recent history. Safin not always. Very sluggish against Roddick the other night, but he's sharp so far here.
The thing about Agassi is he's a pretty good ender too.
Not bad in the middle. Andre likes to avoid the 5-setters. He only played 2 5-setters in the last 2 years. I mean, Safin's played a couple at this tournament.
Andre's not used to that type of pace coming back at him so quickly. No, Andre's pretty efficient. And Safin really worked his way into this tournament and then peaked in the Roddick match and now trying to take it one step further.
Little flick of the wrist by Agassi. Can't get near that 5th ace in 2+ service games. Agassi making Safin pay for the second serve. Still a point from 3-all.
Oh, that's just monster hitting. Exactly the kind of point that Agassi wants to play, but with one,
except for the very end.
Yeah, with one huge backhand cross court, Safin got himself in control of that point.
Gotta love the sound off the racket in this place, especially with the roof closed. Just gorgeous power tennis there. 3-all.
Darren Cahill coached the youngest #1 in history, Leighton Hewitt. And now he's coached the oldest in history. Suggests he knows what he's talking about. So the more rallies Agassi can make Safin play like that, and one of the things it will do is hurt Safin serving. It'll take his legs out of that huge monster motion of his. And not only does Agassi want Safin to hold his own serve, but he really, if he can get into long rallies with Safin on Safin's serve, then he's going to, even if he's not breaking his serve, he knows he's making inroads. When you're tired, your form leaves you, sometimes imperceptibly.
It's fascinating. You guys talk about Agassi not seeing one stroke or 1 point at a time, seeing a match in the context of winning best 3 out of 5 sets, perhaps seeing a bigger picture. And Reyes has talked about that being something as obviously learned over the years. Didn't come on tour with that.
Well, he was a shot maker when he came on tour. He was a natural talent. Now he's that plus a tactician out there.
How many guys see a match that way, though, as more than just a succession of points in games?
I think a lot of the clay court guys do. A lot of guys that grew up on clay know how to construct a point.
See, that's the thing. Safin's got kill shots that not too many guys have.
10 winners already.
The first point that Agassi's lost when he's gotten that first serve in, he has to hit his spots with that serve. If not, he's going to pay the price. Oh, beautifully handled there by Agassi.
Takes the big return and bangs the winner. Still on serve. It's Agassi 4-3 in the first. You can count on Andre Agassi being dialed in early in a match, but so is Safin. No breaks so far. Mel, how do you see it down there?
Well, from my viewpoint, I have a great view because I see the power that both guys have. Obviously, this match is being played from the baseline. It's probably going to continue to be played from the baseline. But if you look at this graphic right here, this shows where Safin is hitting the ball from. A lot of his balls from Agassi are actually going to that backhand corner, but what makes Agassi susceptible, it makes him susceptible to that down-the-line backhand that Safin has. If we can go to the other side, we'll see that Andre Agassi, this is where he is hitting the ball from, pretty much all over the place. A few shots there wide to Agassi's backhand, but Safin is doing a pretty good job of mixing things up. One of the patterns I see, we just saw that Agassi hitting a little more during the ground strokes to the backhand side of Safin. From my viewpoint, it looks like maybe he's even serving a little bit more to the forehand side, though.
Oh, what a turn there from Agassi. Wow.
Safin smoking the new ball. Andre switched rackets. The fresh ball's coming out.
Yeah, he always switches to the freshly strung racket with the new ball. It was something that Ivan Lendl started.
Every 7 games he's got a fresh one?
7 and then 9.
Yeah.
Goes 9 after the first 7. Yep. He switches every time. Tension goes down just ever so slightly in the course of those 7 or 9 games. And, Agassi now jumping on this side. He's looked to step up, Agassi, more in the return to make something happen. This is exactly the type of match where Andre says, I knew I had to take my game to it. I had to find another gear, and that's what he's finding right now.
No break points for either man in this match. This is about as close as Andre's come to pressuring Safin's serve. 15-30. Jammed him with the second serve. Agassi was creeping in, and Safin put it right at the body.
Smart. You know, Safin sensing that Agassi is looking to attack his second, so it's always a good play to go into the body.
Some big pressure serving gets him to game point now from love 30.
Don't underestimate Safin's smarts either. He hit a slice serve out wide, took a lot off it, and set up the easy backhand. He understands how to construct a point as well as Agassi does.
He said that's what he felt when he first came back was missing, just kind of the instinct to feel, and now it's beginning clearly to return to him. From love 30, he holds 4-all first set. Still no break points. Chris Fowler, Patrick McEnroe, Mary Carrillo, and Mal Washington courtside. This is the first of two men's semis down under. Winner number 13 from Safin.
Agassi's had 4 winners. And that says an awful lot right there.
Hard to knock it past this guy.
See, that's the difference between these two. Safin's got knockout punches off the ground. He's got a knockout punch when he's serving. Agassi, he doesn't have that necessarily. He's got to land body blows. He's got to hit Safin on his shoulders. He's got to get his arms. He's got to punch to the stomach. He's got to work him over so he can't keep going for his shots like that.
Oh, that is
brilliant.
unbelievable.
More than just power.
That's finesse on the run.
Wow. I guess he caught clearly by surprise.
Not the only one. No, he's just. How many times have you seen Agassi push back behind the baseline that quickly in a point?
And now we have the first 2 break points of this first set.
Not for a couple of years at this tournament. 99 was the last time Agassi lost a match here. That was against the American Vince Spadea.
Probably wasn't blasted off the court in that occasion, though. Safin unable to get a return into play in either one of those break points. Andre blasting at 123 miles an hour.
That's about as big as he goes.
That's long. And Andre Agassi able to dig out of a hole on serve. Still no service breaks. We move on in this first set. It is 5-4. Welcome back. The roof is shut on Rod Laver Arena. Indoor tennis for a spot in the 2004 Australian Open men's final. No service breaks yet. Ace number 7.
Steffi Graf knew how to use her first serve to get her out of trouble in big moments, and Agassi hit 3 great serves in that last game from 15-40 down to get himself out of trouble.
Agassi gets his own medicine there. Put on the run. Safin not a real natural volleyer when he first started. How's his technique look to you now?
Excellent.
I could put that in the textbook.
Excellent. I mean, he's 6'5".
Yeah.
And he's got tremendous touch. He's got a beautiful knee bend. Sticks his volleys. Really stays with them.
I think all that fishing he did last summer while he was off with the wrist problem, he just thought about. He said, yeah, maybe I'll start coming to net more.
His left wrist was in a cast, so I guess it doesn't affect the fishing. Up in Yosemite, he went with his coach and
or drinking a
his
few
coach's
beers, which he
girlfriend.
did.
Yeah. You do that right-handed too, though.
Yeah.
30-all. I can see 2 points from this first set.
Agassi was even leaning towards this when he was looking towards the middle. Look where Agassi is. Can you, I mean, he's 3 feet inside. What is he thinking? On that big serve from Safin. Biggest one of the night, that last one at 131. That's what he's thinking.
There he is.
Use.
Greatest eyes in the history of the game on the men's side. And Agassi there giving Safin a different look, moving way behind the baseline.
Things happen in a hurry. Set point, Agassi.
This is the first break point that Agassi's had in this first set. And he would love to convert this. Safin has some tremendous pressure serving against Agassi, or against Roddick the other night. Yet another winner. His 18th wipes out that set point.
Use.
Now things change back in a hurry. Safin a point for 5-all.
Game Safin.
Safin responds to the pressure. We are at 5-all in this first set. More great athleticism on display on this court. The second men's semifinal. Roger Federer won Carlos Ferrero Friday, 2 o'clock Eastern time.
Federer wins that one, he becomes the #1 player in the world. I think that's just the incentive, as if he doesn't have enough. I think that's what'll help him beat Carlos tomorrow night.
But if Ferrero wins and then wins the title, he's #1. And Roddick would slide to 3rd.
Man.
He's scary.
Agassi's first serve percentage is crucial. When he misses that second serve, he's only won 42% of the points. Look at that stat. 20-5 for Safin in the winner department.
You mean you don't see Andre outslugged by a 4-to-1 ratio very often? Or what? Gets a cut at a second serve and floats it.
Safin's mom began to teach Marat how to play, and then at a pretty young age decided the best place for him would be to go to Spain and train over there. Much better weather conditions there, a lot of good clay courts where he could learn how to truly play this game.
And it's just wide. Fought that off on the fists and just missed it.
So he, as a young kid, he spent 6 years away from home and missed it. But it certainly helped him to mature. He speaks quite a few languages beautifully, including English.
Really well-liked guy, isn't it?
Yeah.
People appreciate his sense of humor.
He's a likable guy.
Yeah,
He says a lot of funny stuff in the same way Ivan Izevich used to.
Oh, yeah.
You got it.
One of the few winners Agassi's been able to hit. Of course, that's not the Agassi strategy, but I think you'll see him start to go for more shots because he knows what he's up against in this match.
Agassi holds. Are we headed for a first set tiebreak? It looks that way. Safin to serve when you come back. Taste of the sights in this big and beautiful nation. Great spot to be if you're a tennis fan. I know the flight's long and it's expensive, but if you ever get a chance to get down here, it's a fabulous tournament, very fan friendly. Safin to serve to try to force a tiebreak.
15-all.
Tell you what, Safin has certainly answered questions about so far his fitness level. I mean, he's looked fresh. He's moving beautifully. And the intensity that sometimes was lacking from Safin in the past is there.
That's the thing. There's this gravity to him that we're not used to seeing or feeling, I think, Patrick. But he's also not expending 1 ounce of extra energy with emotion.
You know, I was just thinking that normally I say in the first set we think it's so important for whoever's playing Agassi to win that first set. What a return. I sort of feel now it's almost more important for Andre to to win this first set, because if he gets behind and Safin can start to get some confidence going, he potentially could steamroll just by out hitting Agassi. I mean, you're right, Mary. Andre hasn't been able to play too many of those points that he normally plays, hitting all those body blows and taking away guys' legs.
Safin's played 4 tiebreaks in these championships alone. 1-2, lost 2, was beaten 7-0 in the 4th set tiebreak by Roddick.
Safin with 22 points and all those unreturnables. 10 aces in the first set already for Safin.
1-0 Agassi.
He's averaging almost 2 aces per service game. Safin said what he's had to do is to learn to slow down, play slower these big important points late in the set and in the tiebreak. His tendency is to play fast. Andre checking the call.
Looked wide from up here. Yeah, way wide.
Wow. That's about as bad a call as we've seen the entire championships. But it's ace 11. Andre totally unbothered by one of the worst calls of the tournament in a first set tiebreak in the semis. Just goes back to work.
Agassi's first serve really paying off for him late in this set. He's won 19 of 23 first serve points.
Safin gets the mini break back.
3-2
Twice playing the ball right on Andre's feet. That's just spectacular athleticism. Wow.
That's just Safin running like a deer.
He was 20 feet behind the court.
The scrambling ability, but what's most impressive is this right here. From this far back, he can create that angle and pace to force the error.
What are you going to do, says Steffi? 3 points all. Change ends. Safin has another serve.
Down the line, backhand again from the big Russian. Safin showing patience in this rally, waiting for the right time to strike.
Terrific second serve. And push the forehand long. Safin with the mini break. Four straight points now for the big guy. Safin now, his two serves can close out his first set. And he has the mini break back, 5-all. And he really had to work for it.
5-all.
That's a lot of emotion for Steffi. How tough is Andre Agassi? Safin's playing out of his mind, has two service points to close out the first set. Agassi wins them both, and he has a set point. This guy's remarkable. Take that.
6-all.
Switch ends again. Agassi still has a serve. 6-all.
Against most players, that would have been a very effective second serve. Kicking short in the box, out wide. Safin just leaned into that one.
He didn't hold much back. Set point down, did he?
unreal how hard these balls are being struck.
And Marat Safin showing his newfound mettle.
7-6, Safin.
And now Safin at 7-6 as a set point.
Oh, that's just big beast tennis right there.
It's superb and sharp pressure tennis, and Marat Safin up a set on Andre Agassi. Marat Safin, one of the devastating front runners in tennis, takes the first set against Agassi. Fun with technology now. We're going to show you via shot spot the rally at 6 points all in the tiebreak. Watch the speed of each ground stroke.
Well, they're both hitting very hard. They're both striking the ball beautifully, but Safin's got a little bit more, especially when it counts, when he needs to open up this rally and go for his winner. Gets it up around 90 with this winning forehand. Not even Andre Agassi can chase that down. Not even at the end of a tiebreak. Andre Agassi with 2 set points in that last game, in that last set.
Talked about how Safin starts so important. He's lost 1 of 51 Grand Slam matches after winning the first set.
Yeah, that one was pretty big.
It was.
In the final.
And that also came after a 5-setter. In that case, it was Haas.
Where he actually benefited from the roof closing in the middle of the match. He was down 2-1. It was a brutally hot day. And there was a huge thunderstorm that came through. Came back on the court for the last couple of sets with the roof closed, and Safin clearly benefited from that. So that, I think, has also been an advantage for Safin in this match. No elements, no wind. This is just perfect conditions for pure ball striking.
Explain why it would help him to have the roof closed.
Well, I think that the Agassi likes to have some elements. Obviously, at night, you're not going to have the sun, but you're going to have a little bit of wind. It's a little cooler. It might be a little heavier with the roof open if it's humid. A little moisture in the air makes the balls a bit heavier, which means that Agassi might have a little more time to work the points.
Will Andre change anything in this second set, or just hope that Safin comes down to earth? We'll see. Let's go down to Mal.
Chris, the tennis we saw in that first set was about as high a quality as I think we're going to see from both these guys. I hope it just continues to be that good. If you look at some of the statistics from that first set, they both had a pretty good first serve percentage, 56%, but the big difference was the 12 aces. I can't imagine Safin is going to be hitting 12 aces per set throughout this match. 26 winners. Both these guys playing very clean matches, more winners than errors. One of the things I was impressed with from Safin is how he was able to handle the power from the baseline from Agassi, but also how he was able to take advantage of second serves. I think that was also a key.
Agassi not giving him one there.
15.
Maybe soon.
30, 15.
Expect any change in strategy from Andre? Set 2?
Well, I just don't think he's capable of having. He struck 10 winners in that first set. This guy struck 26. Andre can't do what Safin. He doesn't play that kind of a game. What Andre, I'm sure, will want to do is impose his game on this match.
Andre played a good first
He
set.
played a good first
No,
set.
no, I did. I'm saying,
He had 2 set points.
Does he try, though, to take some pace off to try to, slice the backhand?
It doesn't look like that's his game plan right now. Looks like he's going to try to continue to hit. I don't think it would be a bad idea to do that.
I mean, many guys have. They get out there, get a taste of Safin's power, and begin to try to, give him a little less pace and slice the ball. That's why guys like, Fabrice Santoro and different players give him trouble. I'm not saying that that's, Agassi's style, but do you question what you're doing?
I don't think Andre's questioning himself yet. He got outplayed on the big points in that first set. I mean, that first set was decided by 1 or 2 points.
But I do think that it wouldn't be a bad play for Agassi to take the air out of a couple of ground strokes, to loop a few balls, to try to get Safin on the run a bit more. Right now, he's trying to, it almost looks like to me he's trying to hit through Safin. And Safin is, as Mal said, is eating up his pace.
No, I agree. It's a different question if you're getting blasted off the court. I mean, then I think you need to reassess. But
that's what I mean. What none of us knows, including perhaps Safin himself, is how long he could keep up this quality tennis.
well, both guys talked about training in the mountains in the offseason. For Andre, of course, it's the mountains around Las Vegas with Gil Reyes. Team Safin talked about training in the mountains as well, outside his home in Monte Carlo in the south of France.
Now, that's not a mountain that Andre uses. I've been to that place. It's a construction site. It's this long, slow upgrade, this killer incline.
Running in sand, or what is it?
It's packed. It's packed down pretty hard, but it's. Gil took me to it once a couple of years ago. I never want to see something like that again.
Did you run it or just look at it?
I walked it up part of it. Magic Mountain, my butt.
Your butt, you were feeling your butt when you were walking up it.
What was the temp? Nice and toasty up
It
near
was
triple digits there?
Mr. Andre spent his last couple Christmas days
Yeah.
on mountain.
New Year's morning, as the story goes, as well.
7:30, he was in the gym. Agassi trying to give Safin a couple of different looks. He was way back on this first serve, but when it's coming at you with that kind of pace, 131 miles per hour or 132.
Biggest of the match, I think.
The Porsche gun, yeah. It doesn't matter how far back you are. With that type of direction that Safin gets.
Attacking the second serve again and pushing Safin way off the baseline.
So those are the killers. He's had a couple of looks at second serves in this game, and those are the ones he can't afford to.
Yeah, that's why he said, "You're kidding me."
You're
right
kidding.
after he missed it. He can't. He knows that those are his opportunities. He's got to cash in.
Oh. If Agassi draws a bead on that Safin serve, if he starts figuring out a better way to return it, or if Safin's service percentage dips even a little bit, I think the whole tenor of the match could change.
Missed it. We talked about Agassi with the best eyes in the game. Best eyes ever as a receiver?
That I've seen. Honestly, I missed
Better than Connors?
I think very close, but I think Agassi was more punishing on the return, yeah.
And here's his break chance opportunity. So far, no one's broken serve. That's it.
Runs around and crushes the forehand. First service break of the match, and he goes to Agassi. But he's down a set to Safin. You're watching ESPN's exclusive coverage of the 2004 Australian Open, the first slam of the year. Can Andre Agassi press his advantage now in the second set? Safin took the first set in a tiebreak. Now let's go back down to you.
Chris, we've been talking a little bit about the return of Marat Safin, but let's take a look at the return of Andre Agassi. The black balls are the second serve returns, the yellow the first serve returns. Obviously, he's taking the first serves a little bit further back, but look how far into the court he is taking that second serve. He's trying to jump on that big kicking serve that Safin has. That's what allowed him to get that last break. We swing around to the other side, and this is where the majority of his returns are going. Those second serve returns, he's trying to get them into the backhand corner of Marat Safin. A lot of times in men's tennis, that one break per set is really all you need.
15.
Well, here's what Agassi did, and this is good coaching and good scouting. He's already looking. He knows it's going out to the backhand, so he steps around. Remember the other night when Safin played Roddick? Every single second serve went to the Roddick backhand. That's where Safin's tendency is. Agassi waited for that break point opportunity. He stepped around and took the forehand for a cold winner.
You take a shot that he's not going to come up to the tee with it, but
well, he
gambling
hasn't.
a bit.
Yeah, you're gambling a little bit, but you're playing the percentage. I mean, he hasn't put one there, and you can be sure Agassi studied that Safin-Roddick match.
Now after the first break of the match, Agassi out to a 40-love lead and a scream from Safin.
And credit this guy for part of that Agassi strategy, Darren Cahill, as coach. And that's what a coach does at this level. The most important thing is the scouting and the tendencies on big points of your opponents.
Agassi holds at love. 3-1 second set.
Agassi leads. 3 games.
And we'll see how Safin responds. Pretty good response. Ace 14. Porsche gun clocks that at 125. Andreas Egle in the chair correcting it. It was called wide. I can see a little grimace. but clearly looked good. Show you a shot spot, which we can swing around and give you the chair's view. Clearly justified overrule. So still 15 love. Safin doing a lot of running.
15.
Oh, yeah, Safin loves his backhand down the line, and it is a tremendous shot. But again, he's giving away a lot of court by going there. And Agassi was able to curl it into the cross court. Not only make Safin run for it, but Safin didn't win the rally. So that's a double negative on the server.
Tried to run around that, didn't quite get there.
Not easy.
As a chuckle. Oops. It's kind of hard to run around a serve that's on the center line.
Yeah, with kick on it.
I like where he was going with it.
Yeah, I like the idea. And he's got Safin talking to himself.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Agassi's been moving around a lot on the return. And that's another example of the maturity now of Agassi. I mean, he used to just step right on the baseline and obviously intimidate a lot of players, but get aced a lot. And he used to just stand there, and he would never move. He would say, I'm Andre Agassi. I'm going to stand on the baseline, continue to ace me, while Pete Sampras many times said, thank you, I will continue to ace you. But now at least he's mixing it up. He's giving Safin different looks.
Well, Philip Husas had 46 aces against him in that loss at Wimbledon. We'll be back. Andre Agassi still up a service break, but down a set here in this men's semifinal. The women's final will be all Belgian again for the third time in the last 4 majors. You can see it live Friday, 9:30 Eastern Time, 6:30 on the West Coast. Justine and Ardennes and Kim Kleisters.
Kleisters is sort of doing the old I'm injured bit, and Van and Ardennes did that at the U.S. Open. That's why I like Kleisters.
Is it a bit?
I don't think so. I can only react, Chris, to what I see on the court. And obviously she's had the tape job. She's been a big part of the discussion, but there's no problem with what I've seen with her movement, her mobility on the court. None.
So you think she might just be taking a little pressure off her?
Yeah.
Which is what basically she's claimed Justine and Ardennes does all the time.
The built-in pre-excuse?
Not so much that, just the...
Well, what does he mean by taking pressure off yourself?
Yeah, basically by saying, you know, I'm hurt.
It's called gamesmanship.
Agassi landing that one on the baseline, 30 love.
It'll be interesting in that final. I mean, who knows if Kleisters is doing the old Belgian bologna and cheese routine, but the fact is that Ardennes is in the final, serving under 50% for the fortnight and having more unforced errors than winners.
She hasn't looked anywhere near as good as she looked at the U.S. Open last year, but she hasn't been tested in the same way she was at the U.S. Open when she had that classic with Capriati in the semis.
Carrying around the #1 ranking.
Yeah.
She's talked about it, wearing a target and feeling the pressure and all that stuff. Hasn't been her best stuff here.
No, it hasn't. And she says as much.
A point for 4-2. And Andre's third ace. Safin has not been able to pressure Agassi's serve since giving up that break early in this set. A spot in the Australian Open final at stake. Unseeded Marat Safin winning a very high quality first set tiebreak. Agassi getting the break early in set 2. Chris Fowler, Patrick McEnroe, Mary Carrillo, Mal Washington courtside. Thanks for joining us. It's been fun so far. Figures to get even better. You see anything in the body language of Safin? It's changed since being broken.
Not
The
really.
second set
No.
wears on. No. You can definitely overread that with him because early in the Roddick match, he's sitting there slumped in his chair, head down between his knees, looking like he's done after losing 7 of the first 9 games. Comes back to play superb tennis. Agassi's got it. For a lot of power tennis, that was kind of cute. I mean, just to get that, Safin to run that back and flick that backhanded and get it over the net. I mean, Safin would have been a great athlete in whatever sport he took up, whether it's basketball, American football, volleyball. Big, strong, fast. That pretty much covers it.
He's a natural. There's no question. And that helps even when you're a little fatigued, as he was after that last point. Be able to reach back. As we showed you in that graphic, not nearly as many winners for Safin in this second set. Not even close.
Agassi dictating, and now he has a break point to go up 2 breaks in this second set.
See, Agassi's used the angles better in this set. He hasn't tried to out-hit Safin, but he's outmaneuvered him.
Has it been Andre's movement that's cut down on Safin's winners?
It's been Andre's placement of his shots. Not going toe-to-toe straight down the middle as much as he did in the first set.
Forehand by Safin, just catching the baseline.
Safin loses a little bit of his foot speed too. He's not able to open up and go for his winning shots. I think he has gone down, Safin. I don't think his serves are coming in as big. Agassi's getting more looks. He's getting the earlier jump on these rallies. He's turning it into his match, Agassi. That's gorgeous. Boy, he can smother the net. Safin wants to try to close this out in straight sets. He doesn't want to lose this down to double break. Very smart tennis. Shortened up that point by getting himself to net. He needed that.
Safin out of trouble in that service game, but Agassi will serve 4-3, still up a break. Andre Agassi to serve at 4-3. We talked about time on court was a major story coming into this match, more than double the time on court for Safin, and it continues to be a story. Talking, you can almost sense the desperation of Safin to get this thing over with in straight sets. And he'll have to get a break back here to do that.
There's got to be a part of Marat Safin that's thinking to himself, I'm a set and a half away from the final, from not having to play again until Sunday.
Right.
Full 2 days off. Yeah. Thursday night now.
Only slam that has that, right? 2 days between the semi and the final.
Of course, Andre's trying not to think that way at all.
That's just for this side of the draw. The Ferrero-Federer winner wants to come back without 2 days rest.
I've been so impressed by the Agassi serve. You know, he's continued to go for first serves and has paid off. He's won 13 out of 14 first serve points in this second set.
He most has to, because his second serve percentage is still really low.
Well, actually, that's why I thought he would take something off the first serve.
Right.
I mean, he's continuing to go for first serves and not spin them in because of exactly that point, Christy. This second serve, Safin's all over it.
30 all now.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the confidence in that first serve.
Jammed on the return and still got him in play.
And about 2 inches from the baseline.
Right.
That's the strength of Safin. Just brute strength. Agassi 2 of 8 on second serve points in this set.
That's wide. And you see another point for 5-3. More Russian conversation from the far end now. Another terrific first serve from Agassi. A game away from leveling this semifinal.
Agassi leads 5 games.
Talked about a very short list of Agassi defeats here. The most recent being Vince Spadea. So he's unbeaten in the millennium.
Well, Agassi didn't even play
Right.
this tournament until '95, and the first time he played it, he won it.
He didn't show up at this tournament and begin winning them until Steffi had completed all 4 of her wins here. Of course, not that they were involved at that time.
Well, Brad Gilbert, Andre's old coach, was the guy who got him to come down here. Finally said, you got to come down. It's perfect surface for you. Brad had been playing here for a number of years. Oh,
fact, Patrick, somebody, when Andre won it for the first time, his first time out, someone asked Brad how he coached him. Brad said, I got him down here.
Look at the timing on that return off a 124-mile-an-hour first serve.
The return was 80 miles per hour, I'm told.
It's not just the speed is impressive from Agassi on the return, but it's his ability to take it so early. He can take it earlier than anyone else, so it comes at you that much quicker.
I love the close-up of his eyes when he's about to receive serve. Safin able to turn that point around quickly.
He forgot to score.
Oops. He has to serve it in that box.
I'll hit an ace over here.
Right. Andre Agassi, when you come back, will try to serve for the second set and level this semifinal at a set apiece. The Agassi serve has not been broken tonight, and now he'll try to serve to level this match.
He's won 15 of 16 first serve point. Second serve only 3 of 9. Missed it.
Delivered the nice wide second serve there.
Moving it around the box very nicely.
This is a new one. This is a new graphics we're getting here. We had these last night as well. They just keep coming.
Take it up a notch, Mary, for the semis.
It's why they call us the Stacks Up the Wazoo Network.
There's another unreturned serve for that box. Agassi 2 points from the set.
Oh, come on. Pretty casual.
Wasn't it? Agassi feeling it, but
He's got to be
not finding the line there.
Got to be careful, I think, giving Safin that much pace off the ground. I guess at 30 love, he figured he could
do a Federer.
Yeah, take a couple big cuts.
Look at Safin fight. Way behind the baseline, that point. Huge point. Sensational. Because Agassi got the big first serve in.
Came right back on the baseline, and then Safin just steps in.
Great point.
Oh, that's just a heck of a game from the Russian.
Had not broken Agassi all night, but found the shots and the fighting spirit in that one. 5-all.
Remember that 30 love point. Agassi.
Forehand error.
He just sort of went back to what he was doing. I thought in the first it was to try to go toe to toe. Safin came up with just some remarkable stuff in that game.
Agassi goes right back to work, pressuring the Safin second serves. Another tough return of the Safin first serve. Frustration. Andre's had a couple of errors in the return here. Even in a game when he's struggling on the first serve, Andre not able to.
Well, spare a thought for Steffi Graf watching along. Andre had 2 set points in the first set, and he was 2 points from the second set just a few minutes ago. I mean, these are just opportunities he's missed.
That called.
And I think part of the reason he's missing them, Mary, is because he knows in the back of his mind that he's not going to get that many.
Oh. Just tremendous angle created with the backhand, and Safin holds for 6-5. Agassi now must serve to force a tiebreak. No, both these guys enjoying strong crowd support. You just expect Agassi to always be the crowd favorite here. He's kind of an adopted Aussie. But Safin, I think, has his supporters as well. I think there were a lot of folks pulling for Safin against Roddick. They enjoy his personality and his tennis. I think these folks would like to enjoy a lot more of this tennis tonight.
I mean, the game has missed him. They've missed this. Marat Safin was supposed to step up and become the next great tennis player. And, you know, Marat himself says that his biggest problem is his head case, is that he's a head case. Well, he's not acting like a head case these days, so he really doesn't have any problems.
Well, if there's any doubt, this guy is a legit contender for #1 again. He's put that away at this tournament. #1 for a brief time in 2000, was beaten by Agassi, a chance to finish year-end #1. Lost a match, and Kierton took that over.
You know, I had a couple of big questions coming into 2004. I didn't think they'd be answered so quickly. One was Federer, when he's not playing well in a major, will he get his game on track? He did that against Hewitt. Even did it somewhat against Nalbandian.
Sure.
And Safin, can he be another guy in the contender category for #1? And he's answered that.
He's now 2 points from a 2-set lead.
Yeah, he's got Agassi rattled now.
And Safin is feeling it. We talked about that closer's instinct to get this thing done as quickly as possible. Two set points. The winner spanked to erase one of the set points.
30-40.
Tougher to watch than it was to play. Agassi a point now from the tiebreak. If he was rattled, he recovered, Patrick.
I'll tell you, he was on the ropes and he just came out firing. Unbelievable forehand pass, I mean forehand winner, and then some big serves from Agassi.
This crowd really buzzing now. Quick mini break to Agassi. See the good eyes to let that go. swing by Agassi at the end of that rally.
2-1, Agassi.
His 18th ace.
Job by Agassi stepping in and taking that high ball early. Actually hitting that backhand short. Safin was so far behind the baseline. This one, Agassi recognizes it quick. Look at him take a couple of steps in. Hits that one short, and Safin has to run wide and forward. He can't run it down.
Agassi another point to serve. On serve in this tiebreak. Safin won the first set tiebreak, 8 points to 6. He gives him a cheapie. He carries a spacer, a string spacer in the front pocket. A lot of guys do that.
A lot of guys carry one, yeah.
In the front pocket?
Never really noticed a pocket, but
nice loud point there. Andre the big groan on the get. Safin screaming after it's over. For all.
such a weapon for Safin to have that delivery in the tiebreak.
Two of his 5 points in this tiebreak on aces. Such pressure on Agassi now to win the next 2 points. The rare net approaches by Safin tonight.
5-all. 6-5. Agassi.
Now on Safin's serve, Agassi, the set point. But he's been here before.
Safin just stepping up with a big second serve.
6-all.
Watch how much this thing jumps. Agassi can't get a good look at it. It's one big backhand. And another, this time for the clean winner.
So many big second serves. Not just the 19 aces, 0 doubles in this match.
Agassi had 2 set points in the first set, 1 set point in the second. He was outplayed on all 3.
Now it's Safin with a point to go up 2 sets. It's been quite a fight here in the semifinals, but Steffi Graf's husband, he is to win a 5th Australian Open title, will have to dig from a 2-set hole against Marat Safin. It's been a cool and stormy day in Melbourne. The roof closed all day. And under this roof, Marat Safin is 1 set away from making the finals as an unseeded player here and dethroning Andre Agassi. Agassi 5 times in his career has come from 2 sets down. Did it in the most recent French Open against the youngster Mario Ancic. Also did it in the 2002 French Open. Paul-Henri Matteau. He's done it on clay quite a few times in his career.
Well, he did it in the biggest of them all at the French Open final against Medvedev. He was 2 sets down. And still to this day, Agassi and Gil Reyes call that his greatest triumph.
You'll see shots of that frequently in Agassi montages. That was kind of his rebirth, he says, as a Grand Slam champion.
Medvedev played 2 great-looking sets. He was just 1 set away from a French Open crown, and Gil Reyes yelled down at Andre during that match. He said he'd never done it before, but he said he yelled to him, "Trust your legs." In other words, know that you're fit enough to go the distance. And of course, that's what he did. But I'm just, I'm in silent awe of how well this guy, Safin, has played in such classy competition when he really needs to.
No, he says. A few misfires he's had.
What he's saying, no, is to go down the line with that shot. He knows that. I think he now knows that his legs are there.
Is he trusting his legs if he can't close this out here? He knows he can go 3 sets.
Can't answer that. I just don't know.
Game Agassi, ball change, please. First
There you think Andre believes he's ready for 5?
Well, Andre's ready for 5. I mean, his legs are. It's a question if he can just stay with Safin.
That's been the problem.
He stayed with him, but he's been outplayed on the big points.
Sure. Well, it's both tiebreaks have gone to 6 points all. And it's Safin that's been able to win the last 2 points each time.
And historically, you got to assume Safin's going to goof up the big points.
Right.
Not Andre.
The guy's frightening if he's going to play big points like that because he's got so much talent. Safin to serve with new balls.
Love 15.
Agassi hoping the dip will come. He can cash in, and then maybe some doubt might begin to creep into Safin's mind about going the distance.
Oh, he'll try to make Safin earn it.
Viva Las Vegas. That's what they just said in the crowd, right?
You're the one that sang it. They just yelled it.
I'll go sing it out there.
Is that part of your wife's repertoire? Does she do
I
Viva Las
don't think
Vegas?
so.
No?
No.
Rare net approach for Agassi. This man has come to the net just 7 times in this match. Here he is trying to pressure the first service game of the 3rd set. Gets it to 30 all. He's 21. Safin holds. Here's our Kia match summary.
1 break of serve for each player, both coming in the 2nd set. Safin with a lot more aces and therefore a lot more winners. You take away the aces and it's fairly even in the winner department. But of course that has been a key factor, especially in the tie breaks. Safin able to win those cheap points on serve.
And the 1 break of Agassi came as he was serving for that 2nd set at 5-4.
5-4, 30 love at the lead. And meanwhile, Agassi's had just an outstanding serve day. 60% first serves, winning 76% of his first serve points. That one on the line.
Well, if he hadn't been doing that, he'd been blasted out of here. Poised to take a big rip. Got a little in front of that one.
It was slower than he was expecting. It was only 84 miles an hour. Agassi got away with one there.
Change up.
Just a little lucky, I think.
Yeah, I don't think he meant to. I don't think he meant to change
he got
it up.
lucky.
You're saying you don't want to hang too many change-ups against this guy. Here's the great Guillermo Vilas, sitting next to Paul McNamee, who runs this tournament for Tennis Australia. Missed it. Wrong.
Agassi.
Such high quality tennis. I mean, every stroke is just played with precision.
That volley didn't clear the net by much for Agassi.
Well, that was a great shot right there. The defense from Safin almost pulled that off.
It's unnerving to see Agassi being so reactive. Now, he's playing positive tennis, Agassi. He's trying to play a heads-up ball, and the ball just keeps coming back heavier.
He's serving really well, as we've shown, and still being challenged on his service games now.
He's still getting hurt on that second serve of his, under 50% effective.
There it is. Just, you said purely reactive.
Yeah.
Back to deuce. This third game of the third set turning into a real struggle.
Look at that.
You got to be kidding. How are you going to beat this guy?
Well,
I mean,
not even with angles.
I mean, he ran and lunged about 4 times the frame hitting the court.
That's right. This is a guy who's got so much tennis in him already. And not even that worked.
Agassi dropping the head right after that error.
Well, Safin has been so violently efficient for sets now. Agassi's got to think at some point he'll be less violent or less efficient. But so far, he's neither.
Well, the huge serve wipes away a critical break point there. Even Agassi to go down 2 sets and a break here will be tough. Even on the frame, Safin got the volley back.
Advantage, Agassi.
Very large. And that's an important point in this match that Agassi outplayed Safin in.
It's just a pleasure to watch. Andre Agassi has to dig very deep, but he holds. Still down 2 sets to Marat Safin. And the winner of this semifinal match will have 2 days to recover for the men's final played Sunday here. You can see it Saturday live in prime time on the West Coast at 7 p.m., 10 o'clock Eastern time. When Carlos Ferrero, Roger Federer in the other semi.
How nice is that lineup for the semis? All Grand Slam champs.
And 3 of the top 4 seeds, only Roddick missing.
Agassi making Safin work very hard these last couple of games. Agassi thought it was wide.
And when Agassi questions a shot, don't you kind of believe him?
He's usually pretty accurate, isn't he?
He's not a chronic complainer,
no,
unless he has reason to.
Called wide. No, Safin didn't even hear the call.
He still came up with the goods. Didn't have to.
30-15.
Well, they called. Did they call Agassi's out?
They put the score on Agassi's side.
But he announced the score 30-15. Which shot was that? Was that Safin's or Agassi's? That was Safin's shot, which is good. 40-15.
Yeah.
Okay.
Score incorrectly posted on the scoreboard.
I saw the lines person call the Safin shot out. So maybe they called the Agassi drop shot out before that. Anyway, game point for the Russian.
Just smokes ace 23rd to hold. 2-all. Talked about the time on court Safin spent. Another feature of his draw here has been destroying Americans. Beat Brian Vahaley in 4 sets. Beat Neiman in the Finn, and then Todd Martin in that 5-setter. Martin said very impressed by how Safin did not get down on himself despite being down 2-1. Beat James Blake. Had a key and controversial winner on break point. As Safin admitting later, the racket actually left his hand before hitting the ball.
That was a key break point in the 4th set. Yep, to break Blake to go up 5-3. Oh my goodness.
Agassi's giving up about 10 years on Marat Safin.
15-all.
And I don't know. I guess I'm starting to wonder if, Andre Agassi will be, if he returns here next year, He'll be another year older. He'll be looking down the barrel at his 35th birthday. A loss like this could discourage, make him think twice about getting up at 7:30 in the morning on New Year's Day. He's got a wife at home. He's got 2 young kids.
There's been a lot of speculation this will be his last trip down under this tournament.
No one knows, but as Andre says, you think about the losses a lot more these days. He says you read into the losses more these days than you used to.
And he had another one sort of similar to this against Juan Carlos Ferrero. I don't think the level of play was consistently as high, but Ferrero essentially in that match, the semis of the Open, beat him at his own game.
That's right. He did everything Andre could do younger.
Then there were a couple of losses to Federer at the Tennis Masters Cup. One very lopsided.
Well, Agassi's committed to play this entire year, but he hasn't committed beyond that. No question about that one.
Safin's playing like this, a lot of guys might consider retirement. Again, Agassi pressured on serve early in this third set.
Agassi's using that wide serve in the deuce court very effectively, swinging the big guy out wide. Backhand return of Safin has done some major damage.
It's long and Andre Agassi holds, but again, it was a struggle. You're watching ESPN's exclusive coverage of the 2004 Australian Open, the first Grand Slam of the year. Will Safin be the first Grand Slam champion of the year?
Two sets to love for Marat Safin on serve in set number 3. First of the 2 men's semifinals. Federer and Ferrero in the other semi. What's so impressed me about Safin during this tournament is the way he's gotten up to these short balls quickly with exceptional footwork for a big guy. Look how quickly he moves into that ball. So it's a little bit higher when he gets to it, and what he does with it, of course, ripping his 14th backhand winner against 1 excuse me, won in this set. 9 overall for Agassi.
14-15.
Andre a look. Shot spot says it catches the outside of the line. He's 24. Remarkable.
We so often talk about Andre Agassi's support system, how the team he puts around himself is so disciplined and professional. Long-time people. Well, a couple of years ago when Marat Safin got to the final here, this was his famous Boxo Bimbos.
The Safinettes?
The Safinettes, as they were called. and look at this, a couple of years on, he's got one coach, one girlfriend.
There's still a blonde in the box, though.
His mommy.
You got mom in there.
And he's got a masseuse trainer.
Looking over stuff.
Now some people are going to think he's going in the wrong direction.
I was wondering how he was going to celebrate birthday 24 when he beats Andy Roddick. You know, a couple of beers with mom. That's the birthday party. Times have changed. Of course, if he wins this title Sunday night, he's going to be a fun guy to be around. Then I want to know when the party is. All due respect, forget the crew rap party. I want to know, where's Rod's party? Still some work to do.
He's still partying with Andre Agassi right now. I'm sort of enjoying this party.
Andre didn't enjoy that one.
15.
If there's one problem Andre Agassi's had more than any other tonight, it's this. The way his second serve has been manhandled by Safin.
Again, return speed in the high 80s and hit with that angle.
And Safin has the ability to do just what Agassi does on the return. Step inside and take it early off both wings.
He got to that, too. Agassi finally able to close it out. Every point a struggle against this big guy. All right, Safin can see the finish line. You can think about 2 days rest. Contesting for the title here if he can close out Agassi in this third set. Still on serve.
Agassi read it.
Perfectly read it.
He was right there.
Thought Safin might come with a lob. Instead, the pass, and Andre on a full run.
Safin giving Andre a little taste of his own medicine there with the drop shot, running Agassi around.
Andre a little winded now.
Yeah, and maybe that's what, you know, you noticed on that volley, his legs didn't get down at all.
Right.
It would not surprise me at all if Agassi's starting to. We talk about his conditioning, etc., what great shape he's in, but he has had to work as hard as Safin, maybe harder. How many times do we even consider that in a match? That Agassi's working as hard as his opponent.
Last time I saw it at the French, Guillermo Correa kind of slid around in the clay, and Andre looked very weary and like a beaten man at the end. But Correa is one of the great clay court artists in the world, and is a lot younger than Andre.
Darren Cahill there, the coach of Agassi, in our shot spot, in addition to showing you the replays, etc., also tells us how much the players are running in comparison to the other. Safin's running 10% more. Normally, the other guy, the guy Agassi's playing, is running 25 to 30% more. Only 10% difference.
And I think, you know, so far anyway, I mean, there's still the closing out of this match to do. But questioned about Safin's conditioning and his ability to bounce back from 2 5-setters and 3 4-setters in this tournament have been answered. But he still has to finish it.
Got it.
Andre kind of hoping it would go long.
Safin again, using his strength as he just muscles that ball. He's still bouncing around on his toes.
Can't imagine there's anybody out there with more natural strength in this sport than that guy. You get a chance to watch Safin play tennis from courtside up close in a good seat, do so. It is truly amazing to watch him club the ball. I mean, it's not racket technology, it's not weight training. He's
a
amazing
beast.
natural strength.
He's a beast.
A freak, as they say.
He's a beast. So little effort into his swings.
Andre Agassi, again, a game in the 3rd set, but he hasn't been able to close one out yet.
Well, our Pacific life between the lines. Set point in the 1st set for Agassi. And that was the answer that Safin had. He wins the 1st set 8-6 in the tiebreak. 2nd set, Agassi up 5-4, serving at 30 love. Remember that point, he tried to go for the clean winner. He was moving Safin around. It backfired on him, and then Safin answers again on a set point for Agassi with that backhand down the line. That's our Pacific life between the lines. What a match this has been. Look at these numbers.
Crowd wanting more. return serve.
Agassi felt like this against Mark Philippoussis last year at Wimbledon. And there's only so much resistance you can put up against this kind of masterful serving.
That was 46 aces in 5 sets. Safin now with 26 in less than 3.
Game Safin, ball change, please.
And an easy hold for 5-all.
5 games all.
And Agassi will go over to change his racket with the new balls coming into play.
At stake in this match, several of Andre's streaks. Won 19 straight matches in Rod Laver Arena. Total of 26 straight matches in this tournament. That is one of the longest consecutive win streaks at a Grand Slam in the Open era. A win tonight would push him tie with Lendl. If he wins the title, he gets even with Borg's run at the French Open. No one may get to 41 straight. Andre would have to play and win a few more years.
Yeah.
Unlikely.
That serve has worked well for Agassi, but Safin was waiting for that one.
Andre may be a little weary too going for that return.
He did look it, didn't he? Yeah.
Slow to react.
Maybe more surprised than anything how well Safin hit that return. But that's trouble now for Agassi.
He's staring at a love 30.
Look at Safin on his toes over there.
Comes up with a big wide one. You can just see this guy's eagerness to get this done right now. Knows if he win 2 points, he can serve for it. Andre knows it too. Steffi knows it. How about those 3 serves in a row from love 30? Andre's not giving in. Safin now to serve and try to force yet another tiebreak. Just a terrific 2 weeks of men's tennis here in the first Grand Slam of 2004. High quality stuff from these 2 guys, from Andy Roddick, from Roger Federer, Juan Carlos Ferrero. This has been a treat to watch. 2 tiebreaks and now perhaps a third if Safin can hold. Agassi will look for every little sign. Just maybe for once the big guy might crack.
Again, just as he did to convert the only break he's been able to get. That was early in the second set. Step around and take the forehand up the line. Can he make it count here?
Again, 2 points from the set. his teeth there.
15-7.
Does not want to give him a cheap one. Crowd wants more of this. Who wouldn't? We got more tennis for you. Agassi not done yet. Safin not through yet. The fourth set for a spot in the Australian Open final when you come back. That was Agassi's first trip down under, as Mary talked about earlier. Pete denying Andre so many Grand Slam titles. That one belonged to Agassi. The many milestones Agassi has collected in recent years, this is one of the most Grand Slam match wins in the Open era, surpassing Sampras at these championships. Of course, he won't get to Pete's 14 titles.
Thank you.
Jimmy Connor's 233 is going to be hard to break too.
Yeah.
By anybody.
Overall.
Andrea Segli
15.
ruling that from the chair. Look long. Now we'll have to see if winning that third set turns things quickly here. Finish line was so close for Safin.
Guys have both been just pounding the ball so well off the ground that neither one of them has really been able to get into the net much at all. 15 times for Agassi, only 12 for Safin. That's really just because every rally is just the length of shot, the pace. Neither guy is looking to serve and volley because they're how well the other returns.
And then once the point starts, there's not many chances to come in either.
No.
With the depth and pace, Agassi kind of snuck in there. That he got to that is amazing. But Agassi holds. First game, fourth set. Marat still looks pretty fresh.
So Agassi sort of take a little glance over at Safin there when they walk to the changeover and say, this guy, I thought he thought he'd get tired too. Just as we all did, considering how much time Safin spent on court getting to this semifinal.
2 hours and 46 minutes is the match time. Anna Nardin disposing of the Colombian Zuluaga. Kleisters, just as Mary said, one tight set, one easy one, and another all Belgian women's final here, which you'll see Friday night in the States. Well, if you're Safin and you know that Agassi's checking you out, you don't want to give him anything as far as revealing if your energy level is dropping. Instead, just go back and bang ace number 27. That is pretty good energy conservation serving, isn't it?
He's just enjoying such a sweet rhythm, and he's the direction of it. I mean, he can serve into any part of the box. He's not losing any heat on his shots either. It's very few players in the world. I know I've said this, but it's worth saying again. Very few players can make someone like Andre Agassi inconsequential on a court. When Andre normally plays against feared opponents, let's see if Safin's getting a little afraid. Normally, if Andre just ups his defense, it's enough. But you almost get the sense now that he would have to increase his offense.
Shot Spud said that. Shot by Safin actually caught the back of the line.
Yep. Very few players can force Andre to play bigger tennis. Safin just might.
I think he already has, Mary. I mean, you look at the unforced, I mean, the winners, as you see Safin's coach there. I mean, Agassi's hit 36 winners to 23 unforced errors. Normally, he's keeping both numbers relatively low. Yeah.
Low.
I mean, in fact, Agassi said after he beat Paradorn Shrishafan, my intention was to play sort of boring, for lack of a better word, but just workman-like tennis, not to go for too much, not to make too many winners or errors. He realized pretty early on that that wasn't going to work against Safin.
Very easy service game for Agassi. 2-1 in the fourth set as Andre searches for signs of frustration from the big Russian. Still down a set, though. On serve, fourth set. Safin up 2-1. Courtside enjoying this slugfest is Mal Washington.
Yeah, I am enjoying it, and I have the best seat in this entire stadium. Two things that we've talked about. We've talked about the serve of Agassi. We've talked about the serve of Safin. That's a big asset for both of these guys. Take a look at this graphic right here, and it shows where Safin is serving the ball right now. All of his aces are the red balls. What does he have, about 25, 26 of them right now? But he's hitting his spots very, very well. What I think is very interesting is on his second serves, look where he's hitting them. He's basically hitting them to the middle or the backhand side of Agassi. Remember that last game of the third set? Agassi ran around a couple of forehands. That was the key. Agassi was looking for those second serve returns. But here's what Agassi has been doing. Yeah, a handful of balls right in the middle of the court, but he also is hitting his spots very well. Surprisingly, I think getting a lot of service winners on Safin, considering how well he has been returning this evening.
Some of those balls landing on what would be the backhand side, but Andre running around them, hitting forehand anyway.
Feeling we're starting to see Safin come in a little bit more. You know, that he's done that in his other matches at crunch time when it was time to
And points quicker, is that what he's...
yeah, and to look to put the match away. You know, it's a smart tactic. In addition to, yes, Chris, saving some energy, but it's also when you feel like the finish line is getting closer and you can close out a match and you're as good as Safin is and you have the versatility that he has, that's the time to up the ante and make your opponent come up with something spectacular.
Match point against Roddick did that and ended up closing it out with a volley.
He's not a serve and volleyer by nature.
No.
He's a guy with a big serve, but for instance against Todd Martin, who was a serve and volleyer, Marat Safin was smart enough to serve and volley himself, try to take the net away. And that was a quality 5-set match. But Todd Martin very nearly won.
Had the lead, and again, what impressed Martin was that it wasn't the old Safin.
That's right.
Melting down, questioning everything, coming unglued.
You usually like Todd Martin in those 5 setters. He sort of constructs them and designs them to take them.
It forces you to play a very patient game, does Todd Martin, and Safin had it.
Good reason for Safin to be upset. That ball clipped the line that would have given him 2 game points.
It's 2 calls that have gone against him and balls that have clipped the line.
Oh, what a runaround.
Dropper.
Nice changeup from Agassi. He was able to hide that to the last second, and then he caught a break with the net court.
And now, after all that running to lose the point, Safin's got to take a deep breath and try to save this break point. Gave him the runaround again. Catches the tape. Andy Roddick won't forget an error a lot like that on a break point against Safin in the 5th set.
He had a couple of forehands he'd love to have back.
Shot Spot says that serve just catching the back of the line. Deuce.
What a demanding shot Agassi forcing Safin to come up with there, and Safin very nearly found the angle he was looking for.
No fingers and nails left in the Safin Frings box.
Was Safin, what, 2 points from a straight sets win into the final? Is he 2 points away?
Yes. Yeah.
The box remembers that.
Now on a break point, Agassi a swing and a second serve again. Jammed. Gil Reyes knows that besides Agassi's incredible gifts of stamina, all that work perhaps paying off. Agassi with the break in set 4.
Well, so many times we've listened to Andre Agassi explain his late coming philosophy of life, basically, that if you do the work, put in the work and prepare and give yourself opportunities, good things can happen. Right now, good things are happening for him.
Gil has seen almost every tennis match that Andre's played, and he has a pretty encyclopedic memory, as Andre does, of them.
Well, that's the kind of thing Agassi likes to see. Safin sort of bailing out of the point for the first time really in the match. Trying this ill-conceived drop shot. So Agassi had him on the run. Agassi's there and no problem.
Although he did catch the net cord there with that backhand.
Yeah. He walked, he had plenty of time on that. Feeling Agassi's going to actually start to just try to run Safin now and not try to hit out as much. Oops, so maybe he better start hitting out. Turn quickly.
Agassi's still under 50% when he's got to put in this second serve. And that return's coming from out of a tree.
That's just textbook. Now he's got him on the run. And Safin turns it around so quickly.
I think Andre started to think sort of what I was thinking, that maybe I should start running him and take his legs out, and he may realize, wait a second, I better just keep hitting out.
Well, he was running him. Then it all turned around with one shot. Agassi a point now for 4-1. Called long, and as the match time clicks to 3 hours, the guy who has put Father Time on hold is up a break, down a set still, the Aussie Open semis. That was the changeover. He said, don't take this point away from me. And he was right. Right on the line there.
Not that it's a big point.
They're all big points now.
No kidding. These are all going to be expensive misses.
Beginning of that, you could see Safin, I think, check with his box to see what they thought about the call. They communicated him. They thought it was good. Clearly it was.
Never a good move from the box to tell him it was good. Just to always tell him it's out.
Don't you do it, Davis Cup?
Look, now he's getting starting to lose it. All right, don't worry, it's not the old me. I'll get it together.
That's out.
He's saying it's not the old me, but there are signs right here.
I think it's a tired new me.
Right. This is more physical than mental.
Well, it's everything. I mean, just the concussive effect of playing Andre Agassi. Look, Andre enjoys more than, as much as everybody else, this whole, the big Russian bear out of hibernation situation. But he's looking to beat this guy. And he's just trying to torture him.
Well, that was a little piece of torture right there. Safin gets to it but pushes it wide, and now triple break point for Agassi to go up 2 breaks in this 4th set. Still bringing it, only 4 miles per hour slower than his fastest serve tonight. Said Marat at the start of that, so you know he's talking to himself. This one has 5th set written all over it. Agassi up 5-1 now. We are keeping the on-court time running on these two guys. It was more than twice the time on court coming in, and now Safin has spent over 18 hours. Andre about 10 and a half.
It's about the last half hour that's really gotten to him.
Thank you.
The body blows.
Some hours are worse than others.
Yeah, this last half has really been something for him.
And Agassi playing defense but drawing him in. Expect to see a lot of droppers?
Not in the 5th set. Might see somebody drop, but it's not going to be Agassi.
Safin trying one.
Yeah, he's just going for the 5th now.
He's too tired to even be thinking clearly.
That doesn't bode well for the 5th. Can he regroup? Agassi now a point from forcing a 5th set.
14 seconds.
Well, no matter the physical talent of his opponent, Andre Agassi's will cannot be killed. Anybody feel like a 5th set for a spot in the finals of the Australian Open?
2 sets all, new balls.
Welcome back. 5th set.
15 love.
Safin to serve. He leads 15-love. Different ways to measure time. Andre Agassi's 33 years and 9 months. The time on court in this tournament and in this match now, 3 hours and 10 minutes beginning set 5. Agassi just about 10 years older than Safin. Safin been one of the better 5-set players. He's won, I think, 6 in a row to get to that 17-7 mark.
Including a couple here over Todd Martin and then over Roddick. Too much pace there from Agassi. Safin was just finishing his swing and the ball was on him. Watch how quickly Agassi reacts to this. Safin just not prepared.
How big is the first service game of the 5th set?
It's bigger, it's huge for Safin. Agassi's got all the momentum.
15-30. Never given up a 2-set lead in a Grand Slam. Call was late but long. 40-30. Shot spot claims it caught the line. Safin would believe he's overdue for a call to go his way. That one long as well, and Safin holds to begin the 5th set.
Final set.
You have to think the first service break in this set would be a pretty tough mental obstacle for Safin to overcome.
Such a relief for Safin that he's serving first in this final set. This puts a lot of pressure on the Agassi serve.
Agassi has been broken once tonight and finds himself in the 5th set.
Training, all that work that Agassi's done to strengthen those legs. Remember when he was a teenager, they were twigs, his legs, and now he's so strong, and I think that helps him so much on that serve and that second serve in these tough long matches. So much of Agassi's work on his serve comes from his legs. He's not really, doesn't have that fluid motion with the upper body. It's all coming from his legs.
Gil Reyes saying he's stronger now than he ever has been.
Oh, yeah.
The personal records in squats and bench press and training for this tournament. And the importance of that mental. Agassi wants to, believe that he's stronger now than he.
Well, it's also important now, as you see now in this 5th set, that he can continue to get up and go after those serves.
Missed
goes
it.
wide. Well, you know, Andre Agassi knows he's earned the right to win this match. He's put in all the work, and Marat Safin, who's played so little tennis in the last 12 months, freely admits he's amazed that he's come this far in this tournament, that he's been able to compete so well, and that, you know, this is all kind of gravy for him.
Let's go to Mal Washington courtside. Mal.
Chris, just to give you a little perspective, because I have lost a 2-set lead at this very tournament. I know Patrick has lost a 2-set lead in his 2-set love lead in his career. But a couple of the biggest challenges that Safin's going to find is certainly the physical challenge, but I'm pretty impressed after 3 hours and 16 minutes that he's still looking as good as he has been looking, considering all the tennis he's played coming into this match. But one of the biggest challenges is the mental challenge. He lost 8 of 9 games before he held serve in the first game of this 5th set. A part of just coming back mentally from losing a 2-set lead is just stopping the rout. I mean, that was an easy 6-1 set for Agassi, but it looks like he's come back pretty nicely. I mean, a guy with a big serve like his, who can get free points like that, that's always going to help your case.
Yeah, he could use a nice easy hold here. Both guys just remarkable serving in this match. I mean, a lot of guys have piled up big ace totals, but when you put 0 doubles with it, I mean, that won 5 sets.
I can't remember that many with 0 doubles. I mean, Roddick's had some where he's had 20-some aces and, you know, 2 doubles.
That's cruel, but effective. A little slump from Safin after losing that point. He's got a hold on here now. 1-all, 30-all. Good fist pump from Safin. He knew how big that point was.
40-30.
Still on serve in the 5th. This struggle continues after this. Now 3 hours and 20 minutes old at 2 sets apiece. Agassi to serve, 1-2.
There from Safin. He's got plenty left in the tank. And he gave away those last couple games in the 4th with a reason in the back of his mind that he was saving up his energy for this 5th set. And Mary is absolutely right. Him serving first in this set is a huge advantage for him.
Knows he had Andre on the run there. How many returns has he pounded right at Andre's feet, right on the baseline tonight?
That's a reflex volley from the baseline.
Yeah.
Safin looking for the wide serve. Got enough on the return to make it a tough backhand for Agassi.
First break point of the 5th set now. That's the first time break point down, and Andre has not gotten the first serve in.
Missed it.
That'll energize the Russian.
He's energized already. Now he can say to himself, Marat Safin, 3 games, hold serve. Take my cuts on the Agassi serve when I get them. Concentrate on my serve games.
4 times, I guess he's been able to break Safin tonight. Andre runs around the return. It's a big forehand, and still Safin comes up with that.
Oh.
Consider him re-energized. Ace 33. Caught the corner.
40-15.
Didn't hit this one cleanly either, Agassi, but he was resigned to the idea of coming in and attacking. And it paid off for him.
Smash cut the tape, I think.
What a credit to Agassi. I mean, the way he gets broken and he just continues to just take his cuts. Running around the second serve. And a huge overhead from behind the baseline.
Yeah, pure aggression from the time he was down 40-11 this game. Wow. Run around that serve. Safin holds for 4-1. After 3 hours and almost 30 minutes, Safin 2 games from the final. The Australian crowd so knowledgeable, so appreciative, and so prone to the wave late in the match. They don't want to wave goodbye to this guy just yet. Agassi in yet another hole. He dug out of a 2-set-to-love hole. Now down a break in set 5.
Thank you.
Andreas Egli, the chair, trying to get folks settled down. So many milestones and records that are already collected or pursued by Agassi here. Emerson, the only man with more titles here than Agassi.
You know, when Pete Sampras won his first Grand Slam title, it was in 1990 in the U.S. Open against Andre Agassi. He'd also beaten Ivan Lendl. He'd beaten John McEnroe. He played this sort of unconscious, young, teenage tennis, remarkable stuff for his first major win. And then a couple of years went by before he won another. Marat Safin says when he won the U.S. Open a couple of years ago against Pete Sampras, it's the greatest tennis he'd ever played, and he said that's the greatest tennis I'll ever play. I mean, that's how he honestly felt about things. If Marat Safin can beat Andre Agassi tonight and go on to win this event, his second major will have been such a different experience for him. Because once Pete Sampras started winning, you know, his second, third, fourth, his other majors, he really earned it. He really deserved it.
Well, after being on the injured list, going around from doctor to doctor, not quite sure what the problem was with the wrist, finally putting it in a cast. I mean, you know he's going to appreciate things a lot more this time around.
He's still trying to break Agassi one more time.
And look at Agassi just sort of smiling up to his box there. I mean, he's just, you know what? I'm throwing out every single thing I got.
I mean, these returns are...
I mean, it's a joke.
As Andy Roddick said when Safin was returning him the other night, when he was trying to return this guy, I'm hitting good returns.
Right, they're coming back for winners. Just missed it.
Advantage, Agassi.
I I mean, come on. I mean, you can almost see Agassi just saying, I'm going to hit this next one harder and harder. And Safin just keeps answering. I mean, these balls are absolute bullets off Agassi's racket. All right, he's allowed a brain cramp. Yep. Look at him.
I knew you were going to use that term, and it applies.
Oh, it's so fun to see Safin, though, because he knows it too, and he'll show you. He'll show the crowd.
He's feeling so much right now. I guess he assumes he can hit anything.
Taking some extra time. Agassi holds for 2-4. We certainly hope you're enjoying what's turned into a classic semifinal at the 2004 Australian Open. Marat Safin in 2 8-6 tiebreaks, built to lead. Agassi fought off some tough points in that third set, rolled in the fourth, but it has been Safin regrouping in the fifth set, and he's up a break. Chris Fowler, Patrick McEnroe, Mary Curlow, Mount Washington. Welcome inside Rod Laver Arena with the roof closed. Safin will have to hold 2 more times for 2 very well-earned days of rest before his 3rd Grand Slam final. And the A train won't make it easy for him. He missed it. Called wide. And the court was just yawning for him there.
Safin is just making Agassi hit his shots closer and closer to the line.
Yeah, that's worth the grimace. He tried for a lot there, didn't get it. 15-all. Gives you so few chances. Marat Safin 4 points away from this Australian Open final, completing what would be an incredible story. We called him the X factor in this tournament, coming in unseeded, one of the more dangerous floaters in the history of this event.
Well, you give Andre Agassi back a fistful of points. Give him back about 5 points, and he's already in the final.
You can commiserate with Andy Roddick, who has to feel the same way about their quarterfinal encounter with Safin.
Roddick had a break point opportunity in the fifth early against Safin, couldn't convert it. Todd Martin took Safin to 7-5 in the fifth. Safin escaped there.
He has been absolutely remarkable on the big points. Again, the winner of this semi will get 2 days to rest for the final. Juan Carlos Ferrero, Roger Federer will try to rock this house the same way tomorrow night here. The final on Sunday, you'll see it Saturday night in the States live. Agassi now must hold, break, and hold to keep his match win streak alive at 26 and stay alive for a bid for a 5th title.
15 off.
Agassi holds it love. Now he must try to break Marat Safin for just the 5th time tonight to stay alive. $15,000. Will not forget this night.
Thank you.
Ran around and badly missed it the forehand.
Safin's 78th winner.
Not that easy trying to serve out a semifinal match to handle a miss hit like that, is it? That box 2 points away from seeing something I don't think they expected or this man expected. A spot in the final. Triple match point. standing ovation. It ends appropriately enough with the winner. And Marat Safin is the winner of an absolute classic. 7-6, 7-6, 5-7, 1-6, 6-3 against a great champion.
It is not easy to outclass one of the classiest men in tennis. Look at that, the coach is already going. That is exactly what this Russian star has done tonight.
Well, what a display of courage and as well as athleticism.
And an in-form Andre Agassi.
Yep.
I mean, Agassi has to look back at this and say he did everything he could do. And listen to this, is this the last time we're going to see Andre Agassi at the Australian Open? You have to think that this crowd thinks that.
Well, he's walking to the center of the court. This is not a customary exit after losing a match. Does he know something?
Pretty emotional Andre Agassi right there.
Again, those close to him, not sure if he'll play in 2005. We know this, Marat Safin will play here Sunday for his second Grand Slam title. Consecutive 5-setters. He's played 3 5-setters, 3 4-setters, a whole bunch of tennis. But he has announced his return to the tennis world, and he'll take on the winner of Ferrero-Federer Saturday, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. The men's game is richer for his return, and Marat Safin is writing quite a story down under at the 2004 Australian Open. He's beaten Roddick, he's beaten Agassi. One more giant awaits in the final here. Do not miss it. And Andre Agassi, beaten in a classic. Is this his final bow down under? If it is, he went out in style. Well, in a tournament that's provided so much great men's tennis, Marat Safin and Andre Agassi leave us with a semifinal that become an instant classic. Safin looking very weary at the end of the 4th set. Summons enough energy to break Agassi and then make it stand up 6-3 in the 5th. It was a privilege sharing it with you guys.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, one of the questions I had coming into this year was about the young guns, and I was talking about Roddick, and I was talking about Federer and Ferrero, who of course will play in the other semis. And how about Safin? I mean, how nice is it to have this guy back? He's so much fun to watch. Just a pure talent, showing some unbelievable guts throughout this Australian Open. What a year. I mean, what a way to kick things off in 2004. It's been a phenomenal tournament.
What a fight for titles and a race for #1. And if we did see Agassi's final bow here, he left us with a nice lasting memory, didn't he?
Well, we don't know if we've seen the last
If we
one or
did.
not. Yeah, well, he gave a press conference right before the tournament started as the defending champion. Of course, that's all we peppered him with, this question, how much longer are you going to play? And he readily admitted, he said, you know, you read into the losses more and more. And I don't know what he's going to take away from this one, Chris. I mean, this has been his best tournament. This is where it's the best environment for him. He's always played his best ball. He played beautifully tonight. He got, as I said, he got outclassed. It'll be interesting to see what he does with this, if he's going to come back or not. But it sure was fun watching.
Yeah. But he, as you said, so close and so many big
Yeah.
points to being through to the final rather easily. Now, if you'd like to relive this classic, if you missed a part of it, we'd invite you to join us at Encore Presentation tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2, Safin versus Agassi. For our entire tennis team here in Melbourne, I'm Chris Fowler. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again tonight on ESPN2. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more Aussie Open coverage, log on to ESPN.com, search tennis. Safin over Agassi in 5. So long for now from Down Under.